I'm gonna leave this piece, which is like the path I have so far forged in a chaotic manner, as it is, because that is actually the way that I want to do things. Good morning! Hi, hello! Maybe not morning for you, morning for me right now. It's 9:25 on Sunday the 4th of June. Welcome back to The Play Philosophy. Another day, another video! It is the weekend, it is the start of June. I have an entire Sunday, and what I really wanted to do today... Oh my god. My blind is broken and doesn't stay down, so I had tied it to try and keep it half down because otherwise it impacts the light, and it just snaps itself back up. Oh my goodness. What I really wanted to do today was just prepare myself for June. I feel like it's been a really long time that I've felt, to be honest, as fabulous as I'm feeling at the moment. I'm feeling in a really good place. I'm feeling like I have the bandwidth to think about the future and think about some kind of goals. Although I have a really mixed relationship with the word goals, and I might explore that in a future video, but just some things that I want for the future and getting more into like YouTube and other things, etc., that are on my mind. So with that in mind, I wanted to create some time to just make a bit of a plan for June, and just kind of to work through all of the fluffle that's currently in my head, because I keep getting stuck and kind of getting like this, because I continuously refuse to accept that time is a kind of finite construct and there's only so much of it, and I continuously I'm just annoyed that, like, hang on, I have all of this stuff that I want to do, so why is time not bending to my every whim? And so I want to get intentional about how I'm spending some of my time, but I'm getting a bit stuck. So what I thought I would do today is work through solving that problem. This week I've been delivering some LEGO Serious Play workshops. If you haven't heard of LEGO Serious Play, oh, you're in for a treat. It is a method of facilitation that is around using LEGO and building physical models to tell stories and understand kind of the core of what problems are, think in a creative way, create innovative solutions. It is a really amazing methodology. It's used a lot in businesses around things like strategy, problem solving, team building, leadership, but I like to use it for people development, self-development topics, so things like confidence. So I was doing that this week, and then I got into my office today ready to write down like, what is it that I'm trying to sort through, and I thought, no, why don't we build it? Why don't we build it? Because I've seen the method of this magic, the magic of this method in action, and I think lots of you who really like the metaphor kind of videos that I do, this will really resonate, because the whole point of it is to represent something in a symbolic way and as a metaphor, tell a story about it, and then use that story to understand what it is that you need to do to solve the problem. So I'm going to do that today with my own problem. So what I normally do is ask a question, and one of the workshops that I ran this week was around confidence, so the question was, you know, what's stopping you from feeling confident? With my problem today, and especially because I am the facilitator and the participant, so I can kind of just do what I want and I know the process, so it's not, you know, it'll work itself out. I'm not going to ask myself a question explicitly, but I'm just going to say, like, build my problem. And then we're going to go from there. And then I'm going to talk you through what it is. And at the end of it, I know, because I trust this method, because it's amazing, we are going to have some solutions to said problem. Observations from going through that process, asking the question, what's my problem? It's a very broad question, and as I started building it I was like, maybe I have many problems. So I decided to refine it to actually the one I did want to focus on, which is like, what's my problem with doing YouTube? Because that's the thing that I feel like I'm getting a lot of blockers with at the moment, where like I want to do videos, but I'm like, do I have enough time? But then something's holding me back, and then I'm like, oh, I want to sit and reply to people's comments because I love looking at people's comments, but then it's like blah 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 blah. So I focused in on the question of like, what is my problem when it comes to YouTube? Let's see what that looked like. So I actually started off by building this little character. I just saw the two heads and I was immediately like, yes, there is something in these two heads. And I started with actually one head facing in one direction and one head facing in the other direction, but as you will see, that has changed as time has gone on. So I'm just going to zoom out so you can see what the actual model looks like. I really wish I'd thought when I painted this amazing wall about how like dark it would make everything. Anyway, side note. Okay, so here I am, I'm standing and I'm looking primarily in this way. Now this, for me, kind of represents like the path that I've already taken and the things that I've already done. So I have a clear view of like achievements that I've had in the past and a relatively straight road to get there, which isn't really what it feels like. And I picked up this piece, right, because what I often feel when I am trying to set goals or I'm going like, okay, what am I going to do with YouTube? Like, I constantly look back at the way that I've done things before, and I picked up this piece, which is a little window, because I thought, okay, well, I think I have clarity, right? That means I have clarity. But I actually don't really have clarity, because the whole point of why this is in these kinds of colours and doesn't look as vibrant and wonderful and exciting as this is because it never worked for me to do things in the way that I've done them before. Like, I have a real frustration and dislike and like when it comes to being overly structured and goal planning and all of those kinds of things, and it hasn't really worked in the way that I've wanted to work. So this is all just feeling like very rigid, very like present, very heavy, but like here I am just preoccupied with staring in that direction as if that's the way that things have to be done. But when we look over on this magical side, I kind of see it as this way, right? So I've got all of these things that I want to do or things that are in the works, like different ideas and videos. There's a propeller on the back because I've got the momentum and I'm excited to do them. And I've built some blocks already towards that. Like it's not a clear path and it's haphazard and it's colourful, but it is progress and it is feeling good. But then I've kind of got to this blocker here, and this is really where I feel like I'm at right now, which is I'm spinning my wheels and there's all of this stuff. And I think that kind of represents for me the fact that like there's a lot of just like things that get in the way of me doing videos that are kind of just stuff that I need to learn. So things like my video and my lighting setup, it doesn't need to be perfect, and I know that, and actually part of this chaoticness here is realising that something doesn't have to be polished and finished for me to be able to release it and get it done. But I do know what I have to do to make these videos better quality and to do more exciting things, but there's just all of these bitty, annoying pieces that I need to just sit down and get my head around that I am avoiding, but I really feel like it's just stopping me from getting where I want to go. But there's like this spinning kind of element here, and for me that really represents that like I'm going along on a path that I don't really know the outcome. There's a degree of uncertainty and I'm kind of getting blown around a little bit and it's a bit daunting, but I know there's a sense of achievement there and doing things that I want to do, but it's kind of all in like this jumble of stuff. Like I haven't actually connected a lot of pieces together because this does feel disjointed and kind of chaotic, but it's also the space that I want to be in. So that is where I've landed with this current model. I'm going to take a little break and then I'm going to come back. When I come back, I'm going to answer, you know what, I'm not sure what the question is yet, and so I need the break to be able to get my head around the question. Okay, I've eaten a couple of strawberries, I'll let my mind wander, and the question that I want to move on to now is, what needs to happen for me to move forwards? That feels like the right question. What needs to happen for me to move forwards? So rather than do the build and then talk you through it, I'm going to live talk through my thought process as I'm building it. So moving forwards for me is like moving in this direction towards the loveliness. What needs to happen for me to move forwards? I need to be able to stop looking back and actually look forwards. I also would quite like to have one head. Part of why I have two heads is because I just keep think that I have time to like do all of the things all of the time, and I just don't. So I'm gonna take that head off. We're gonna be looking in this direction towards the lovely, nice, colourful part. Don't know about this head yet, so we'll leave that there. I'm gonna leave this piece, which is like the path I have so far forged in a chaotic manner, as it is, because that is actually the way that I want to do things. I think what needs to happen for me to move forwards is all of these tiny little bits, they need to be like lined up in a row, because I don't mind an element of chaos and going with the flow and playfulness. That's kind of the whole point of this, and that's the whole point of letting go of this rigid kind of way of doing things. But the problem is, there's chaos in areas that I don't want there to be chaos, which is what I'm doing when, how that's all happening, and just some general kind of like skills and competency based things that I need to just sort my shit out on. Okay, I got into my groove then, so I stopped talking because I thought I need to be present in what I'm building, and now we'll talk through it. So I don't know about you, but I look at this and I just feel like the energy has changed. I've given myself one head and it's facing forwards to the future. I've packed away very nicely what represented kind of the path that I've come on so far, because I didn't want to disregard it. There's lots that I've learned from doing that, but it wants to be packed away and it doesn't want to be the focus. I want to be looking away from it. And I decided to put the flag in my hand because I'm not aiming for an end goal here. And I think lots of us go wrong with self-development as well, right? We're aiming towards a goal, but then what happens when we reach the goal? I don't want to just achieve a goal for the sake of achieving a goal. I want to enjoy the process. So this is me, and just a reminder that, like, if I'm not doing things that I want to because I love them and that I enjoy, and the process is bringing me something, why am I doing them? That's me holding the flag for that. And I've lined up the chaotic stuff along the way, because what I want to remind myself is that although the path will be joyful and kind of all over the place to some extent, there are certain things that need to be structured and lined up to make me feel better about them and for me to make progress. And then I realised as I was going through this that actually this whizzy whir of wind that keeps pushing me back quite often is me doubting what I am doing and whether I'm doing it in the right way and asking for others' opinions, and we don't want that. I've left it there because it will always happen, but that's what led me to put myself on this tower like this, because I wanted this like strong, firm, yes, moving forwards, can weather the storm. And then I just put this junk here, and I'm going to call this the junkyard of fun. I actually forgot this face was here, but let's leave it there. The junkyard of fun. We don't know where we're going. We don't know how we're going to get there. Well, we do. We've got some elements of how we're going to get there. We know the vibe in which we want to get there too. But, like, that's the whole point of this. So here we are. So there's a kind of whiz-through tour of the LEGO Serious Play method. There's a lot more to it if you're using it as an actual kind of workshop facilitation methodology, but in terms of just using it to solve some of your own problems, that is one of the ways that I use it. As you can see, it's quite like metaphorical and abstract, and it's not like I've left that process with like some really clear outcomes and things that I want to do. However, that's the process that I will go through next. So what it's really done is given me some clarity on, well, clarity and also a reminder. Like, I know a lot of this stuff already, but I have to continuously remind myself about things like how I want to do it in the way that I want to do it, and I want to let go of things that have happened before, and I want to be able to stand firm in what I believe in and what I'm excited about, and not kind of let the influence of others impact me. But we need continuously reminding of that stuff. So part of it is that it helps with that. What has really helped me learn, and I think I needed to acknowledge this sooner, is those little bitty things that are stopping me from moving forwards, and that's really just things like knowing how to use my camera properly, knowing how to set up my lights properly, all of the things that just like are not really that exciting personally for me to learn. And also around adding a plan and a structure. I have such a weird kind of about making a plan for myself because of years and years of making plans that I felt like I've failed at. There's a real blocker there. So I think what I'm learning from all of this is actually, right now I don't need to do a lot of work on the bigger mindset, feeling confident in myself stuff. I need to do the work on the little tiny things that are taking up my brain space and stopping me from moving forwards. So what I'm going to do now is do like an overall thought dump and planning for June. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear that part of the process. I'm not going to include it in today's video because I wanted to do some shorter videos. Lots of my videos have been really long. I wanted to just focus in on the Lego aspect of it. But yeah, I'm going to go into kind of like planning what am I actually going to prioritise for June. Happy Legoing, happy problem solving. Let me know in the comments if any of that kind of struck you, resonated with you, how you feel about that way of storytelling using Lego. And if you have some Lego lying about at home, give it a try yourself. You don't really need many pieces. You just, yeah, go with the flow. Until next time, see you soon.